Hi, as we're not having lessons at school, I thought I'd give you some songs to practice from the Grade 1 Trinity book. I will upload the photocopied pages so you can practice these. If not, you can also buy it on Amazon if you choose to. The song is called I Can't Explain, and it's by a band called The Who. Now, first of all, I'd like to go through the chords that are in the song. The first chord that we will be dealing with is called D. Now, D is played from the D string, so remember, no E, no A, and start from the D and play it downwards. Your left hand is made up of your first finger on your second fret, your second finger on the second fret on the E, and your third finger on the third fret on the B. So that's your first finger on the second fret on the G, the second finger on the second fret on the E, and the third finger on the third fret on the B. And you play it like this. Okay, now the other one is a bit of an awkward change, is called the C. Now, as a guitarist, you will play the C and the D quite a lot, so you'll have to get used to it. Now, as you can see, if I turn a bit, you can see that it's almost like a set of stairs. So your first finger starts on your first fret on your B. Then we skip a string and go to the D on the second fret on the D, then the third finger on the third fret on the A. Now with the C, as before with the D, we miss a couple of strings out. Well, this one you just miss the top E out and play from the A string downwards. Now, as you can see, there are three different views. There's my face one, the main view, and then my strum view. Now, you should be able to have a look. Remember, you can pause and rewind videos, say if you're struggling. So remember, first finger on the first fret on the B, second finger on the second fret on the D, and third finger on the third fret on the A. And that's C. Now, moving between D and C. There's several ways to do it. The first way is obviously when you fret through your D, you move your first finger and move it to your first fret on your B. Then your other two fingers can then follow because they're very close together and it's almost like a shape. The more harder way of doing it is you're doing your D and then you move your ring finger up to your third fret on your A and you play it backwards. Now, don't worry if you can't get that straight away. My advice is try and do the first way, where you do the first finger then moving up, because it's easier to go up than go down when you're sort of fingering different chords. Now, obviously, if you want to challenge yourself, try doing it from from your A string downwards and play it backwards. But it's what really sort of suits you. Just remember, no E. And with D, no E and A. The final chord that is played quite a lot in this song is the chord A. Now, some of you will have played A before, but you'll say your first finger is on the second fret on the D. Your second finger is on the second fret on the G, and your third finger is on the second fret on the B. Now, as you can see, or if I pull it round there, you can see they're all in one fret, and it looks like a set of stairs or mini stairs, or even just like a slope. Now you have to do it like that so you can fit it in. You could bar it, but that's a lot harder, so I suggest, you get your fingers in and they just squish together. And the idea is you don't want to be playing over the fret, you want to be in front of the fret and just put them all and make sure your third finger is before that fret there. Now with this chord, as with the other chords, you are not playing the E again. So if you remember, you are playing from the A, because the A is called A major or A. Now you will get, when you first start off, you will get, that usually means that that third finger there is blocking, so you have to kind of pull it round and keep it away. Now remember, it's like what I said to you in your lessons last year, try not to be playing like that. I know you see people on TV playing like that. It is not really a good technique at all. So, because it just brings your hand out of position and just blocks the strings. So you want to just keep your hand out. Lesson 2. Playing Can't Explain. Now, Cant Explain is quite a quick song. Now with everything and practice, you do it slowly first. I'm not expecting you to play it full chat or full speed straight away. So we want to practice doing the chords first. So we've got, the first chord is D, the second chord is C, and then we've got another chord called G. Now I've not mentioned G before because this G's been played a lot before with you guys, but just in case you've forgotten it, your first finger on the second fret on your A, your second finger on the third fret on your E, and your third finger on the third fret on the top E, and that's all strings. Now moving from C to G is a full reset chord. Now we could do it a different way and move and play it with your little finger, but that is too hard, so don't worry about that. So we should have D, C, G, and then back to D. And that is basically the sequence, or the way it goes, the chords go round. So you're going D, C, G, D. Now, as you can remember, a crotchet is worth 1. A rest means, a crotchet rest, which is what is here, means that you play it for a beat, but you don't play anything, you just count it. And then we've got quavers. Now if you remember quavers, they're the ones that either have the little tick at the top or the line sort of drawing them together. And they are called quavers, and they are half a beat each. So remember, if you're counting a full bar, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right, putting it together. Now I know it's a lot of information, so don't stress, and I mean that, don't stress. It's all about putting it together. Now the trick is with this song is, in the rests is where you do the changes or the transitions. So you got the D, then you mu. Now if you can see in the bottom left hand corner, you see how I'm using the side of my hand. That's this part here, and I just stop the strings. Now some of you will have done this with me already. So we're going 1 and 2 and. Now the next one will be C. Now that's the one that's the quavers, which is the 3 and. Then we mute again for a beat, which is on the 4. and then the and if you're counting in quavers. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you see how that works. Now let's bring the speed down. So you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go straight back to that D. So that last one where you're not playing anything, you need to get thinking about that D. So you should have D, stop, C, twice, and then the next one for the next bar is G, mute, and then D. Now the timing is exactly the same as the first bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So putting those two bars together, because this repeats a lot in this song, is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so you will repeat this quite a lot. Now, do not panic. When you look at the score, you will notice there's a repeat bars and first and second time bars. These basically means that you, on the first time, you play the first time bar. After you repeat it, on the second time, you miss the first time bar and jump to the second time bar. So you would play from bar 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the first time bar, go back to 5, and then when you get to 7, you then jump to 9, which is your second time bar, which is where the chords change. Now, I'm going to do it as if I've on the second time bar, on the verse. This is on the verse. So you've got D, rest, C, G, D, D, C, A. Now, be warned, that will catch you out, because obviously the speed of the song, but also you get into what we call is a pattern, and it can be quite hypnotic. It's happened to a few of my students where they suddenly forget that they've got to go to A suddenly when you've been going D, C, G, D. Now don't worry about trying to do everything all at once. It will take time. So have a go at those chords and just get used to playing the chord and then mute the string. So basically the whole side of your hand stops the strings with your right hand. See, nothing's going on my left. So it just stops your strings, and that is called muting, or right hand muting. So you're going. So I will do basically the first intro and the verse for you, just so you get an idea. And you'll probably find that even with the bridge and everything, up to the end of the first page is pretty much very similar, with an A thrown in there for good measure. Hi, right. As promised, I'm going to play the song for the first page just for you, so you can hear how it is with the backing. So here we go. I Can't Explain.
Can't explain, it's a certain kind. Can't explain, I feel hot and cold. Can't explain, yeah, down my soul. Yeah.
Now, as you can see, it's quite quick. Now, I'm not expecting you to do it that fast. You can always ask. I'd always send you a slowed down version. That's not a problem. Just let me know. Now, the other thing I'd like to mention about this song before we finish this lockdown session is the dots above the note. Now, not dots by the side which extends, because I know some of you know about dotted notes. This is a dot above the note. It's called staccato. Now, staccato means shortened. So if I was to talk staccato, it'd be look, you know, so it'd be instead of hello, it'd be hello, really short. Now, what you probably noticed when I was playing that with the track is you noticed how the first note had a little bit more of attack, bit more bite. And also as well, you probably noticed that I put a nifty little quick mute in, so the string was like shut off really quite quickly. It's almost like someone going shh. So you got, so because obviously there's a mute there anyway. Obviously without the staccato it'd just be, but it's with staccato it's more shorter, more bitey, so it's a bit more what we call tighter, a tighter sounding. It's almost like someone's just edited your little note, gone shh, and taken it and chopped it. Right, shout if there's any problems. I know there's a lot to get through, but it's just a case of working on it and putting it together.